Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day as always. Appreciate you turning in. Shout out to the 19. All right, folks. So we're gonna have some fun with one of my favorites. I know some of you last time we talked about her just like, oh, don't even give her any attention, but it's been a long time. So maybe just indulge me this time because I enjoy it. We get to have a little fun. You get to have a little fun, always important. And of course, I'm talking about probably the smartest person in the world and a dear, dear friend of mine, and that is Sheryl Swoopes. And hey, I did something for you. I did you a solid, as they used to say. When did they used to say? It was a long time ago, but they did used to say it. This was from a video. It was like 16, 17 minutes long. I cut it down to about 4 minutes just to kind of zero in on the things that I most wanted to talk about. So that's just, I love you, man. I mean, that's what I'm saying. I did this for you. So let us dig in. As you can see, they're going to start off talking about, of course, Time Athlete of the Year, Caitlin Clark.
Clark becomes the first WNBA player to ever win this award.
Real quick, just so you know, there was a lot of intro that was just not necessary for us to sit through, but what was mentioned, and so you know, as a clarification, that statement is absurd. I mean, it's true, but it's absurd because it makes it sound like it's such a huge deal and the WNBA has been neglected. This award has been around since 2019. Okay, Caitlin Clark's the sixth athlete ever to get the award. So actually, that's a big deal for the WNBA, not a it's about time deal.
We see the album cover, or excuse me, the magazine cover. I'm here fucking up.
Does look
Look
like
like
an
an album
album
cover,
cover.
and
That's good.
with the baggy pants. But Cheryl, I'll start with you. What's your reaction to Caitlin Clark winning Time Magazine Athlete of the Year?
Um, I don't think I'm surprised. I'm curious to know who the other candidates were, but the fact that that's the very first WNBA player to ever win Time Magazine Athlete of the Year is pretty special. And my question is, like the criteria, is it based off of her performance on the court, which, yeah, she had a great year, or is it more about the impact that
Yeah.
she had on the game this season?
Okay. You could see when that was thrown to Cheryl, the brain matter was oozing out her ears. You could see the smoke rising because she was really, really struggling to, how do I turn this against Caitlin? How do I make this about Caitlin didn't deserve this because, I mean, boom, she went right to who else was nominated? And so maybe how can I use that? And what were the criteria? So maybe how could I use that? Because you know that she wants to downplay the impact part of it because she knows it's almost impossible if you're going to be intellectually honest. It's just looking at the attendance numbers and the viewership numbers, just numbers, black and white. Here's what she drew. Here's what others did. You can't downplay that impact and try and spin it into someone else as much as they try. I believe we might have a response from Gilbert. If not, I think the next thing we go into is I took the lead in out because it was so long, but he talks about the quote in the Time article magazine where Caitlin gets into an area a lot of people are not happy about, and that may be another video. Let me know in the comments below. There was so much in this article, actually, I do want to get to. Um, and this is wild, folks. Really pay attention to this because Sheryl Swoopes is asked a direct question that should be something she absolutely loved that Caitlin said. Watch.
I'm sure a mix of both. Obviously, WNBA saw record viewership numbers across the board. Her teams played in a lot of those games.
No, I think it's great, not just for her. I think it's great for the league.
Yeah.
Right?
All
Like
right, now
everybody
we're
talked
getting
about the
into it. Sorry about
recognition
that.
that she brought to the W this season. So for her to be Time Magazine Athlete of the Year, I think it's really great for the league.
But sure, when you hear that, thoughts on Caitlin Clark saying she wants to use her platform to elevate black women in the WNBA have been instrumental, obviously, in building that league to what it is. Okay.
that is disgusting to me. Here, Caitlin Clark makes a statement praising black women, praising the black athletes of the WNBA. And Sheryl Swoopes is asked about that. And that facial expression, man, she's lucky she's a woman. But I mean, that is like, are you not a grown woman? Is Sheryl Swoopes not in like her 50s? What in the hell is wrong with you that you get asked about that quote, something you should absolutely love based on all of your other actions, and you just sit there with this weird smirk on your face, mouth closed tightly, and give no response whatsoever. I'm uncomfortable watching it. Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? You've probably been in groups at times where someone brings up something that maybe they shouldn't bring up, maybe they shouldn't bring up in that company, and you're kind of sitting there like, I really, really wish I was anywhere but here. How do I get up and get out of this situation? I can't imagine how these guys felt when it was, Cheryl, how do you feel about that? And she just sits there and I guess it was a smirk and I don't know what it was, but that was seriously, seriously messed up. Messed up. So I think this next one is about the Chicago Sky and the Indiana Fever playing 5 times, I think.
Yeah, I mean, no.
I think we're gonna talk about, I'm sorry, we're gonna talk about the criteria. They're gonna get into some athletes. They're just guessing because we don't have a list. Athletes they think might have been on this list. So now we're going to get, well, you'll hear it.
You
No
think
doubt.
about
She
when
had
you
a
just
huge
think about
impact.
athletes of this year,
Yeah.
it's her, the swimmer
What swimmer?
for Olympics,
Katie Ledecky.
her
Shout out Katie
her
Ledecky.
performance.
Shit, you
You
can
know,
put
in
Simone
Olympics.
Biles back in there.
You can put her back.
One in 2021, so I don't know that they would repeat her. That was an Olympic year as well because they skipped the 1 year in 2020.
Back in there. Probably LeBron from his Olympics plus, like
I mean, hell,
from the season
you could put
Olympics.
Asia Wilson in there.
Mother of all that is good and pure, you could not put Asia Wilson in there. She's broken, folks. It's like it's on repeat. Remember what I've said a little while back that all year long, a lot of it was with Angel Reese because they focus with the focus on Rookie of the Year and the new viewership. And then on a lot of other things, they can't help themselves. When they talk about something that Caitlin Clark brought to the W, it had to be Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. And a lot of times it was Caitlin Clark and Asia Wilson. And then here you go. Listen to those players that you mentioned, the impact that those athletes have had. Asia Wilson can ball. Granted, she had an MVP year as a ball player. That is it. That is all that happened. I could pick 100 athletes or more that are more legit for this list than Asia Wilson. But Asia.
That was just basketball.
So that's what I'm saying. Was it just the performance on the court, or
No,
It's
everything
global.
else?
Like, I think it's
So,
everything.
yeah.
It's everything.
Right. The fact that we're actually having this conversation says how much the league has grown and how excited people are about it. And then when you have players like a Caitlin, a Angel, even a Kate Martin, a Rakia Jackson, the new class that came in, I felt like they really took it to a different level. They brought in new eyes. They brought in people who've never watched the W before. And if we can continue to go down that route, I absolutely think it's great timing. I think it's good for the league, and I think it's in a good place.
My goodness, she makes it so easy. I should have set myself up better because that's another one I've said, right? When they're talking about the rise in attendance and ratings and popularity of the WNBA. Another one they used was Caitlin Clark. It wasn't Caitlin Clark, it was the rookie class, which is the nonsense that Sheryl Swoopes is spewing right now. No offense to Kate Martin. Love Kate Martin. I think it's also a great story. No one expected her to be in the WNBA. But if there was no Caitlin Clark, Kate Martin would not really have brought significant eyeballs to the WNBA. Caitlin Clark fans love Kate Martin. Rickea Jackson did not bring eyeballs. Angel Reese did not bring. I mean, these players did not bring eyeballs. Now, none of them want to acknowledge, but they should take advantage of, is Caitlin brought the eyeballs, and you need to get those eyeballs to stay for others. I think that worked out really well for Arike. She balled in the All-Star game with Caitlin. She has a pleasing, outgoing personality that comes across well with media. Had some baller games with the Indiana Fever. So that was a big deal as well. I think Rickea Jackson, as she got better and better her rookie year, she started getting more eyeballs and people were liking the way she played. And again, from what they saw in interviews also, because that stuff matters. They want to root for not just good players, but people they like. That's just the bottom line, whether you like it or not. And to sit here with this old tired stuff of they brought new eyeballs and they brought ratings, it's just disingenuous gaslighting crap.
Have an impact on viewership, right? So if Caitlin's selling
Go. I want to back up just a little. Sorry about that. They are now talking about the fact that the Fever and Chicago Sky are going to be playing 5 times this year, which it had to be somebody. It had to be somebody because 13th team coming into the league, 4 more games. They're not going to play everybody the same amount of times.
right? So if Caitlin's selling 20,000, Angel Reese is, selling 15, 16, me putting them together to sell 20,000 makes no sense to me. Right, one already sells 20,000, one sells 15.
No, it's true.
So I would rather have them
play somebody else.
Yeah, you play this person, get your 20,000.
Yep.
If we match you up with somebody, you're gonna get naturally 15. You might fuck around and get 20. It should be a double header.
Angel gonna cook.
Okay, so that is beyond dumb. We're talking about one game, Gil. So to say, oh, you're going to get this and you get that over there is silly. They had to play someone a 5th time. Okay, they had to do it. So this is absurd. It's also absurd that you're saying Caitlin's getting 20 and Angel Reese is getting 15, or she might get 16, 18, or 20 on her own. That is just, you can't be that dumb. You have to be purposely gaslighting and lying to everybody. I mean, did we not just see the league, what we saw? The Indiana Fever drew over 17,000 at home. The next was the New York Liberty with 12,700. Chicago Sky drew 8,757 a game at home. The high was 9,872. So even if they say they sold someone out, that sold any of those out, it's because they took away seats, because seating capacity is over 10,000. This idea that Angel Reese was drawing 15,000 alone by herself without games against the Fever is absolutely absurd. This doesn't make any sense, man. Oh my goodness. I'm going to deep breath. Deep breath. Let's go.
So I'm just
but it don't matter.
You have Paige Beckers, right? Who's going to Dallas that everybody is talking about. So let's do Paige Beckers versus Caitlin Clark. That's more of a
That used to be the order. It was,
it was Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark, and then Paige got hurt and she had all these injuries. Yeah, like people are excited about that rivalry.
Yeah, really, we're all just building up to when Juju comes out. I think at the end of the day.
Yeah, just like right now it's the W should sit around. They should really sit.
We are.
There's so much crap in there. Where to begin? First of all, the talk about Paige Beckers is just a bunch of people desperate to replace Caitlin Clark with Paige Beckers or Juju Watkins. Paige Beckers didn't even draw 600 people at a game in the Bahamas. And people say, oh, well, it was in the Bahamas. Man, the men play tournaments in Hawaii every year at this time of year or the beginning of the season. They draw. It's a special draw. It's those type of people that are going to road trip and maybe make a mini vacation out of it. Yeah, Caitlin Clark would have drawn. Caitlin Clark drew 55,000 to an outdoor game that was preseason, didn't even count. By the way, Caitlin Clark, despite talking about not earning something, Paige Beckers did not earn her Player of the Year. Caitlin Clark was a much better Player of the Year than Paige Beckers when they were freshmen. When Paige almost averaged 20 points, 5.8 assists, 4.9 rebounds. Caitlin as a freshman, without all the other highly touted at Connecticut surrounding her, 26.6 points, 7.1 assists, 5.9 rebounds. Not even close. She torched Paige Beck. That idea, that's manufactured nonsense. And then that fool that, oh, we're all just waiting for Juju. Seriously, man, Juju, again, doesn't move the needle. Great player. Y'all think she's going to bring in the fans? And Juju doesn't draw either. She doesn't sell out home games at USC. Are you kidding me? Oh, my brain hurts. But Cheryl, never stop being you. I don't think we could handle it. Um, but thanks for checking this out. I hope you got something out of it. Had a little fun just with the absolute insanity of Sheryl Swoopes. And to be fair, Gil's a little insane too with his take on the attendance for Angel Reese games. But let me know your thoughts on all this in the comments below. I really do appreciate your support. Don't forget to like, also subscribe, and I will talk to you later.